Hi everyone, welcome back and a happy new year to you and your family. And today we are going to be making 3 of our favorite meals that we like to do when we participate in pantry challenges. And if you're new, we are participating in a pantry challenge from the months of January and February. So we really got a plan, we really got to meal prep, and we're going to make a few bulk meals today. And the first thing we're going to make is a bacon vegetable soup. And step number 1 is to cut the bacon. So we have about a pound of bacon here, and really you can use any meat that you like. We just happen to have bacon on hand, but you can do this with Italian sausage, or you could do it with chicken or steak or anything like that. Any meat that you have on hand, or if you would like, you could forego the meat and just do a vegetable soup. But we had this bacon, and so we wanted to make good use of it before it went bad. And I'm just cutting it into about 1-inch chunks or so. And once that's all done, we got our stove on high and we are going to brown this bacon. Our bacon is browning behind us, and we're just going to try and get some color on it as well as draw some of the fat out for the next step, which is our veggies. And for this recipe, I'm going to use carrots, onions, potatoes, and garlic. I don't usually follow many recipes, so I kind of, whenever we make this, just kind of throw any vegetables that we have on hand. But if you have celery or peas or anything like that, those are also a good additive to this soup. So while that bacon is cooking, I'm going to prep our vegetables. Okay, so the bacon is pretty brown, so I'm gonna go and take the bacon out and then put the vegetables in and let that cook down a little bit. All right, so I got my stock. I have 4 quarts of it here, and the veggies are cooked down. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw our 4 quarts of stock into the pot and then put the bacon back in. And the beauty of this recipe is you can really adjust the heat according to when you need to eat it. So we are gonna have this for dinner in a few hours, so I'm gonna let this cook on a low heat for probably 3 or 4 hours, and it'll be perfect by the time we're ready to eat. But if you need it a little bit quicker, you can crank the heat up and it cooks just a little bit faster. So we're gonna go ahead and put the stock in and then turn it on a low heat, and we'll be ready to go for dinner in a little bit. Our soup is on a low heat and will be ready in a few hours, and we actually only needed to use 3 of the quarts. So we're gonna throw that extra one in the fridge and we'll use it for something else later. But yeah, it's kind of nice when you don't have to use all the stock that you think you need. And like I said, I don't usually follow a recipe, so I'm gonna salt, season it to taste after, and it's gonna be really good. So while we wait for this to cook, let's make our next meal. All right, for our next recipe, we are going to be making a staple bread that we always have on hand to get us through this pantry challenge. So it's just a simple bread, and you only need a couple ingredients. And I know earlier I said I don't like to follow recipes, but for this one, we do. So we're gonna start with 1 1/4 cup of white flour. And the thing that's really easy or nice about this is that it's a very, very easy recipe. It takes a little time, but it's very easy. And then we're gonna do 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour. And then we will do 1/2 teaspoon of dry yeast. And then to finish that off, we'll do a cup of cold to lukewarm water. Pour that right in. And then once that is in there, we'll give it a good stir. And it's recipes like this that make us wish that we had a KitchenAid mixer, but it's okay. This recipe can be done with or without a mixer. And like I said, it doesn't take a lot of intricate recipe following directions. It doesn't take a ton of effort, it just takes a little bit of time. So we'll get that nice and mixed up in there. Once that looks good, get that down there. Good to go. And then we will just finish by wrapping this up. There we go. So wrap this up here, leave this covered, and you want to leave this covered for a minimum of 2 hours, but we often like to leave it covered overnight, and then it will be good to go the following morning. So this is the starter. Let's move on to the final product. Once your starter is done, you can go ahead and put 3.5 to 4 cups of flour into the bowl. And then you'll also be putting 1 teaspoon of yeast into the bowl as well. And once those are in, you can go ahead and mix. And once we're done mixing, we will go ahead and cover it, and we're gonna let it sit covered for 2 hours. After the 2 hours has gone by, we'll come back to it and take it out of the bowl, mix in a little bit more flour to get a nice loaf formed, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it into the oven at 475 for 25 to 30 minutes, or until you get your desired level of crunchiness. Ours had to pass the knock test. We really like to have bread on hand just for the versatility of it, whether it is toast in the morning, sandwiches in the afternoon. Bread, you just can't go wrong with it. So the last recipe we have is something that we always make, and that is our smoothies. And we tend to like to do berry banana smoothies. It seems like those are the fruits that we have on hand. But the thing about smoothies that's just so wonderful is that they're so versatile, and it's such a great way to get good quality fruits and vegetables in. If you're someone that doesn't like to eat those normally, smoothies are just an easy way to get those in. So I'm going to show you what type of smoothie we're making today. So for this recipe, we're going to do some banana berries with some peanut butter, a little protein powder, kale, and some chia seeds. And as they say in the culinary world, bone apple teeth. Beautiful, delicious. Gotta have it. So these are just 3 easy recipes that we always make during the Pantry Challenge and make things very, very convenient for us. If you want to see more videos, go ahead and follow. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.